Good afternoon, y'all. How are you today? I'm going to pause for a second. I'm not going to rush into it because I know sometimes it takes a little while for people to join. But today we will be talking about cannabis side hustles. You all voted and you all told me that y'all was interested in finding a side hustle in this space. And so I think a lot of us are familiar with side hustle culture. And we see it in like these entrepreneur groups, nursepreneur groups, ways that people kind of pick up some extra money on the side. But I don't know if y'all recognize the opportunities that exist in the cannabis industry. And so some examples in other industries are around building a large social media following and becoming an influencer, or possibly a lot of people are into like the med spas and the shots to lose weight in the financial space. In the like we'll sell insurance and things like that. A lot of us will become authors. A lot of us will become all these things in every other area. And I know recently side hustle culture has kind of gotten a lot of flack, where we're like, no, we don't want to have a side hustle, or like being seen as derogatory. But I feel like if you've never been an entrepreneur before, side hustle is your playground to play in to discover how to become an entrepreneur. I feel like that's part of the path and that's part of the journey, right? And a lot of people start in this space and get a little uh, ex- um, taken aback, because having a side hustle isn't as easy as it seems, because at that point you're a solopreneur. It's you, yourself, and I trying to get people to purchase whatever it is that you got to sell. One of the easiest ways to take part in side hustle culture is to be an affiliate. And so that exists in the cannabis industry too. Did y'all know that? There are a lot of CBD companies. There are a lot of seed, like grower seed companies that need affiliates and are willing to pay a decent amount. Some it ranges, so definitely pay attention to what the terms are of the situation. But there are a lot of people looking to get people to help market their business or their product with affiliate links. And so that actually is a very common way that people start to get into the space through the CBD realm, where they'll basically learn a lot about a product and then they'll share it with the customer. The only problem is you really have to vet these CBD companies, because sometimes the the information is only intended to market and to sell, and not necessarily to educate all the time, right? And so we kind of hit this blurry phase of, is this true or is this false, right? Or is this evidence based? Does it fit into my moral standards? Is this, the thing that I can stand behind as a brand? And so your role as a nurse, one is, if you want to take advantage of that as an option, go forth and do that. But the other thing is to also be informed on the front end as a healthcare provider, so that way you're not standing behind a product that may or may not be holistic or natural, or maybe giving people products that aren't good quality, right? And so that's one way. We've already started. First couple of minutes, that is one way you can make money easy in this space as a side hustle. um and just to introduce myself, because I kind of started rambling, I'm Ashley. I am the nucleus of the Highline Tribe. It is its own energetic force, which is really exciting, which is full of holistic practitioners who are looking to jump into the industry to be able to start their own businesses. And it is part of it is to be able to feel comfortable in your own skin. So part of side hustle culture requires you to be able to communicate with people, to be able to network, to be able to talk to people in a way where they can understand. And it's way more important in this space to be able to have that solid foundation, so that way you can communicate with people well. And so we have our community, and that's where we practice, that's where we play. And then I'm the author of Aces Medicine. I'm also the author of Stigmatized. I am a consultant for multiple dispensaries. And so I have done a lot of stuff in this space, and I'll talk a lot about some of the things I've done and some of the opportunities that I've seen in the cannabis industry. One of the reasons why we don't take advantage of the side hustles that are available to us is because we just don't really understand cannabis. One, there's a stigma, but two, we don't understand the industry, the supply chain. It's a separate industry than the healthcare industry, and it looks a little different. The landscape is a little different. And so, excuse me. So, one of the ways that I have been able to make money in the industry is through paid sponsorships. One is through podcasting. So I don't know if you all know, I am on a podcast called The Grow. Sometimes I'll share it in the group. Definitely look out for that once a week, where we talk about spiritual topics. If anybody's interested in sponsoring our podcast because you think that it's the most amazing thing and you would like to put something out there, please let me know. The other thing is through social media. So I have been asked by dispensaries to essentially post certain posts about their dispensary in order for them to get access to my audience. And so I've gotten paid for that numerous times. And so that is an opportunity. I don't have a huge following. I use my Instagram in that situation, or in those situations. I have about, I think, 3,500 ish people on my Instagram alone. And so because my audience is so unique and targeted, these dispensaries are willing to pay for me to share their information out. So that's two ways actually that you can develop a side hustle. So for those of you who have big followings already, that's not going to be a big leap. Another way is to establish thought leadership. And that's through my books. So I mentioned that I'm the author of 2 books. So one of the ways is I sat down and I wrote my book. Aces Medicine was the first one, based off an experience I had with building guidelines. The second book was my own personal story. If you look at different areas, there is a concept called personal branding, right? And so, getting yourself out there and established as a thought leader, people will pay you for your thoughts, essentially. Organized thought sells. Come on. So, definitely take advantage of that opportunity. Another one is through speaking events. Some speaking events I get paid for. Some speaking events I do not get paid for. But on the back end, I may make a sale in the with, let's say, if I had an affiliate link, right? And so it really is about positioning and understanding your value. The other thing that people overlook all the time, there are people who host mastermind groups that charge large amounts of money who need to know what you have to share. And so that's a great way to make some extra cash on the side. Whether you are in the ED, whether you are in the ICU, it really, your expert, like, you will be surprised at how many people look at things that we take for granted that we know and say, oh my gosh, that's amazing, I had no idea, right? And so people will pay for that information just for that thought leadership. Another opportunity is a dispensary educator. So especially in our states that have medical programs, but even at like smoke shops, um, you know, un, uh, the illicit market, or they'll call it the black market, or they'll call it the legacy market. Those groups of people need education, but even specifically in the dispensary, you can educate the bud tenders, because they don't understand pathophysiology. They don't understand medical procedures. They don't understand the care of the patient the way that we do, right? So that is an opportunity for you to go in there and be the trainer for those bud tenders. Patients, our patients need education. And what I've found over the years is that a lot of patients don't even know they need education, right? And so there's a huge floodgates of opportunity in that area. And then the third way is as a consultant to the dispensary, to make sure that the regulation and all that is up to date. And you could absolutely, participate in that if that's part of your background. You can be a physician consultant. And this kind of leans into the question that was asked to me this morning. Physicians, yes, they can certify patients in most medical states, especially in our medical states, where patients need to be certified in order to get access to legal cannabis from the dispensary. The doctor can say, hey, yes, but a lot of these doctors don't have a lot of information and don't know a lot or don't have the time to educate their patients on proper consumption methods, ways to support their wellness, support their health. That transition from I have my certification to the first time I'm in a dispensary, that's a big gap. And that's where a lot of times, and we do this in our regular situation now, or as nurses on the floor now, we facilitate that process to make it easier for the patient. Patients will pay a lot of money to make sure that they choose the right product in the beginning. Right. So that is absolutely an opportunity for you as a side hustle to be able to just pick up clients and be the educator for them, and just make some extra money on the side along with your job. Right. And then, sorry, I had to clear my throat. Then there is, I told you patient consultant, but then there is just a wellness type coach, right? Like there are all these different types of coaches, right? I identify as an alignment coach. Why? Because I have such a wide scope of information to share with people that really I can just get you on track and move you in a direction, move you in the direction in your divine right, which is why I call myself an alignment coach. But you could be a wellness coach or a wellness consultant, helping people to discover their health and wellness through not only our background, but through the lens of what we understand about the endocannabinoid system. And sometimes it'll include cannabis, and sometimes it won't. But patients need access to information. This week, the High Align Tribe actually met with a former OBGYN who transitioned into a hormone specialist who works with women who leverage cannabis as medicine, right? And so that transition for her was part of her natural path, which we all have our own natural path, but she uses all that information to better help the woman to identify what makes sense, from a nutrition standpoint, from an exercise standpoint, to a cannabis standpoint and beyond, right? And so for those of us who have these very like, especially very niched specialties where you don't see a lot of nurses there, like dialysis patients, there's a lot of opportunity to just provide education in that regard. Let me know if you all have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. And I just want to go back to the statement about certification. Um, nurse practitioners in a lot of states do have capacity to certify patients. So if you're a nurse practitioner who has full practice authority, yes, that is an amazing opportunity to make some cash on the side. All you have to do is sign up to your local cannabis program, and they'll have their process listed out for you. So if you're in Maryland, it'll be the Maryland Medical Cannabis Commission that you would go to, and you would look, and it will say, it will literally be a button that says provider. And most states have something very similar. Some of them are more complicated, so it might take a little looking, but that's definitely an opportunity. And, I think that it is morally, if that's a route that you choose to take, I think it is morally and ethical for you to have an abundance of information for your patient population so you can educate them in a way that maybe some physicians cannot, or that maybe some physicians do not have the time to do. So that was regarding the question that was asked to me earlier. And then some other considerations. So healthcare, hospitals, home health need educators. That actually might be a more difficult barrier to enter, and it takes a little bit more finesse, but that is an opportunity. I mentioned the affiliates, but even being a CBD wholesaler, so you can buy products in whole and just sell them. Thanks to the Farm Bill, you can sell products online, CBD products online and across state lines. So you don't have to worry about that. And there are criteria, but I won't get into that right now. And then any area of any adjacent roles, right? So some of us have side hustles that look like finance, that look like real estate, right? So, for example, in Maryland, we have a bunch of new people signing up to own licenses. Imagine if you had commercial real estate, and I was able to come to you and, put my business into your house, into your facility, right, or to the building. And the crazy thing is, this is not good from the license holder's point of view, but as the real estate point of view, you're going to have the rent coming in before the person even gets the business up and running. So like you'll be getting paid just to hold the space for them. So that's an opportunity there. Some other things to think about: if you are into branding, if you're into financing, all those things are necessary in this space, just like any other space, right? There's apparel that you can get into for those of you who have t-shirt lines, things that shirts that can advocate for cannabis being medicine. That's necessary. People want to show off the fact that they are healed, right? And so your form of healing can look like that. So I won't go into all the different ways that you can possibly make money, because I'm telling you, once my wheels start going, I start going. But I just wanted to make sure that you all understood some of the top ways that I have discovered that you can make money in the cannabis industry. One of the things that I teach people when they first come to me to come work with me, the sky is the limit. Just because I gave you these things, because this is what I've observed, once you get out here and start observing stuff, you'll be like, oh no, that's a need. There's a necessity here, and I want to get into that. And that's why I said this is part of the journey. I started off in side hustle mode. I was doing a ton of things. I've done, oh, I didn't even mention this, but I've done things like, consult with other small businesses and help them get CEUs, right? I have done things like help teach people how to write books, right? So like the wider breadth of knowledge that you have and that you're an expert in, there's a lot of opportunity for you to exert that to help other people to get access to the plant, understand the plant, to be able to increase advocacy around the plant. So that way there are more people who are understanding, so we can break down those barriers and that stigma. And that's what it all boils down to: finding creative ways to do that, because that's a need. That's a need that needs to be addressed. And you, for sure, healthcare, holistic healer, all of the above, you have the ability to do something like that. And I think the only thing that stops us is, one, the fact that we keep feeling like the stigma is a barrier, or that our state is not legal, and so therefore I can't do it. So if any of you if any of you have any questions, I definitely want you to post them in the comments now, and I'll be happy to answer them. But I hope this was insightful for you, because one of the things that stops people from engaging in this industry is that they don't understand all the opportunities to make money in this space, and nobody wants to spend money if there's no opportunity, right? And so a lot of people will call it the green rush. That's where we are right now. You all know, like med spa, everybody wants to be in the med spa space. There's nothing wrong with that. Yes, that too. Um, and I'll say the comment out loud, but everybody wants to invest in the med spa space because that's on trend. And as far as I'm concerned, I think there is still opportunity in that space, but because it's on trend, everybody's pouring into it at the same time. Right now, we're still very early in the cannabis industry. A lot of our states are just converting over into a rec program, or they're converting over into recreational is what I meant, or they're converting over into a medical program. And so let's see. Another barrier to finding financial freedom to invest into your business. Facts on facts. You do have to have financial literacy, comfortability in order to invest. But when we're talking about side hustle, usually investment is minimal. So when I started in this space. It was literally just me sitting in my computer and typing up my process for doing a consultation and testing it out on my friends and family, and then eventually charging for it, and then eventually creating the training course that still exists to this day. And so that was the process for me. Really, the thing that I had to invest that a lot of people are still scarce on is my time and my intellectual property. And so that is something that we can consider when we're creating side hustles for ourselves, right? And so even understanding the process of cannabis consumptions, methods of consumption, things of that nature, and being able to apply it to potential clients and potential patients, low low overhead, low cost, right? You don't you really you can do it with a cash app in your computer and type some stuff up, or sit down with them and share your breadth of knowledge. So definitely understand that. Somebody said, I want to know where I can sign up, where I can be a cannabis nurse, educator, and advocate. I got you. I'll reach out to you as soon as we get off of this live and we can find some time to chat. And then somebody else said, we like to explore the idea of CBD wholesaling a little further. And so really it's just a matter of identifying who those wholesale people are. We do have connections that we can possibly get you with within the tribe. And we have processes. So we can work with the whole idea around that as well. So anyway, I hope this was helpful for everyone. I'm Ashley. I'm just a nurse who went to an HBCU. She just decided to take life on her own terms. I have been victimized. I have been burnt out. I have been all the things that everybody else here has gone through. And so for me, it's just about helping people to shift healthcare perspective so we can all achieve wellness. We want things, not only should healthcare be holistic, but our entrepreneurial endeavor should be holistic and realistic for the experience that we're having today. And so, I hope this was helpful, and definitely reach out if you have any additional questions. I hope to hear from you all soon. Um, Talk to you soon.